Kubernetes has become an industry de facto standard for container orchestration. As more and more companies are using Kubernetes from different cloud providers like AWS EKS, Google's GCP's GCE, and a lot of others, many rookie mistakes are being found. I have culled these three top mistakes which I have seen people making when they start with Kubernetes. The first and foremost is just not setting the resource limits. It is imperative and very important to set the resource requests and limits for your pods. If you don't do that, you might end up with runaway problems. There is one very important reason you should set memory limits for your pods if you are running EKS and managed node groups. Some background to it is that by default, EKS clusters with managed node groups are controlled by EC2 instances, autoscaling groups, and the autoscaling group is responsible to spawn enough nodes in the right sizes. But something there is which it doesn't do. It doesn't remove the nodes that become unresponsive. So if your node is memory exhausted and your kubelet is suffocated and choked and cannot respond to any request from the control plane anymore, Kubernetes knows that that node should be taken out. But EC2's autoscaling group doesn't. So you need to set your resource limits at your EKS level. Another alternative is that use some autoscaler like Kubernetes own autoscaler if you're not using AWS EKSs. Another common mistake is that just going with whatever default instances are provided with your EKS or GCP, GKE, or any other related technology. By default, the number of pods you can run on your cluster nodes is limited by the number of IP addresses that can be assigned to your virtual machines or EC2 instances. For example, a T3 small node can run a maximum of 11 ports. You may find yourself in the position that a smaller node is enough for your application since they might not need a lot of resources, but you have a lot of them. But then, unfortunately, you can't deploy all your pods. So, this is very important that you go with your required instance size as per your application. Then, a common one is about secrets management. If you're running EKS in AWS, then there is something called a secrets manager. And then AWS provides you a secret store CSI driver from Kubernetes, which is an open source thing which you can integrate with AWS Secret Manager. So I would highly suggest that instead of storing your secrets in plain text, store them in some sort of secret manager and then use it from your Kubernetes cluster. Now, there are a few other things which I would like to mention is using GitOps for your Kubernetes cluster. It is still new, so I won't say it's that common, but I think the future is going there. So you need to use something called something like Argo CD to make your cluster Kubernetes cluster manifest file as part of your pipeline. But you need to keep your config and code separate. And I have other videos around Argo CD and its managed services, which I will put the link in the video's description. I hope that you found these tips useful. If you have any feedback, please put it in the comment section. Thank you.